Hypothetical, obviously. But just assuming that you might have insulted.
You're going to characterize it as insulting. I'm going to frame it with sane, humorous things about reveling in others' agony.
And he's been reveling since he got his first radio job in California in 1968, followed by WGAR in Cleveland. Then in 1971, he hit the big time in the Big Apple. WNBC gave Imus his own show at Rockefeller Center, and the sound of morning radio would never be the same.
Imus says the Reverend Billy Saul Hart. Friends, you have made 66 WNBC, New York's #1 radio station.
Imus filled the air with a host of demented characters that would become his trademark. In 1972, Life magazine proclaimed Imus the country's most outrageous disc jockey. He was on top of the world, but the bottom was about to drop out.
He'd come into the station, boozed up?
Sometimes, sure. I mean, many mornings I'd be sitting there with a 16-ounce thing of vodka. I'd put a little grapefruit juice on it just to color it, just to get through the morning. It was tough.
I read somewhere 100 days, you missed 100 days of work in 1973?
I mean, I was in radio a little over 2 years, and I went from making $80 a week to making 6, 7 figures, you know, 6 figures. I was just very arrogant. I think a lot of that came from just being very insecure.
He would have reason to be. In 1977, he was fired, exiled, as he says, back to Cleveland.
Here you were in the #1 radio market in the country. Suddenly you find yourself back in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Were you humiliated?
Yeah. I was the big guy. I was the guy. I mean, I was the guy in radio.
And he would be again. In 1979, WNBC rehired Imus to jumpstart their sagging ratings. He was back on top, only to stumble again, tripped up by a voracious cocaine habit. Though dazed and drugged, Imus tried to keep up appearances, but his mask was cracking.
What was the bottom of the barrel for you?
July 17th, 1987. It was the worst day I ever had in my life.
It was the last day of a 9-day booze binge.
And I was just in horrible shape. I mean, I was shaking and I couldn't. I weighed 152 pounds. And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, this is insanity.
1 month in a rehab center, and 6 years later, Imus is still on a treadmill, but he's traded compulsions. Frantic about his health, he now runs 6 days a week, at home in his Manhattan apartment or on the road. The mouth that roared was back.
Well, now everybody in New York hates Trump.
You got that right.
So, I mean, we're talking about basically a fat, puffy sissy boy.
A jerk.
Any hope that Don Imus might eventually run out of people and places to skewer was probably shattered forever this past spring, when he moved here to Southport, Connecticut, and bought a weekend home just up the road. Now, Southport is a town of old money, upper-crust values, and exclusive clubs. In other words, the perfect target for a pit bull named Imus.
Imus rolled into town last January with his Rolls Royce and his own idea of a good neighbor policy. Imus has now made Southport fair game on his show. In fact, on anyone's show.
And I get a place right on the water, and up the road is the Pequot Yacht Club.
All right.
Now, this is a yacht club that wouldn't admit Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
And, I mean, would you?
No.
I mean, he's fine. But nobody wants Marlowe down there screaming at the help.
Yeah.
No. You know what? So I think I'm their kind of guy. I'm willing to wear clothes with fish on them.
Yeah.
Thistle Hawkins had been peacefully living in Southport for 20 years, until Mr. Imus moved in right next door.
You know, he said some pretty rough stuff about you folks. Yeah. He's called you white trash trailer park people. Mm-hmm. He called her a witch.
Yeah, I also called her an amorphous old bag, but I'm not proud of that, you know. But she said hideous, hurtful things about me.
How long do you think it'll take before Mr. Imus becomes really part of this community?
At
the rate he's going.
I'd say about 100 years.
She looks like somebody who could just brutalize you.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. She started it.
But, of course, Imus will finish it.
Okay, on the phone now, one of my neighbors up in Southport, Thistle Hawkins. Good morning, Thistle.
Hey, Bannerneck.
He's already added a bogus Thistle Hawkins to his morning cast of characters. In case you haven't heard, Don Imus always gets the last word.
You know, this is it, by the way. It doesn't go any deeper. In the essence of Imus, this is it.
Sure.
This is not an act. You know, this is it.
This week, Imus has been broadcasting from a hospital bed. He suffered a collapsed lung, but it didn't affect his mouth. He's still as prickly as ever and is expected to be released soon.
Coming up, how much waste is hidden in the new budget deal? But first, Prime Time goes back to some of the grocery stores that overcharged us at the checkout counter. We'll tell you how super the markets are when Prime Time continues after this from our ABC stations.
If everyone got together and concentrated on everything they ever wanted and everything they ever hoped for in a mid-sized sedan, it's possible, just possible, that something miraculous might happen. Introducing the all-new 1994 Mitsubishi Galant. Never underestimate the power of the human mind. Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
This is a Channel 7 Eyewitness News Brief.
I'm Dinah Williams, and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, is it yay or nay? The House votes on the controversial budget plan. It is a crucial test for the Clinton administration. We'll tell you if the president passes in a live report from the White House. And it's a first in 40 years. A girl who entered this hospital dies, and rabies is blamed. Are you at risk? We'll have the answer. And she was switched at birth. Tonight, she takes the stand trying to get a divorce from her birth parents. It's all coming up at 11.
Your gift with any $32 Eternity for Men purchase at Macy's.
We have new developments in some primetime reports, beginning with our hidden camera investigation into the grocery chain Food Lion. We showed you how food, like chicken and meat, was rewrapped and redated and then sold as fresh.
Telling you the right way, but I'm doing another one.
We also talked to former Food Lion employees who said they weren't given enough time to do their jobs properly and they often had to work off the clock, basically giving extra hours to the company without pay.
How many hours did you work off the clock?
Anywhere from 10 to 20 a week.
15, 20, 25.
Mine anywhere from 10 to 25 per week.
Just this week, the Labor Department announced Food Lion has agreed to pay $16.2 million to settle claims it violated federal laws, regulating unpaid overtime, the minimum wage, and child labor. It's the largest settlement ever by a private employer.
We will not tolerate companies that seek to gain competitive advantage through the opposite strategy of undermining the nation's minimum labor standards.
In a statement, Food Lion President Tom Smith said the company decided to settle rather than spend considerable resources and years in litigation. Most of the money will go to former and current Food Lion employees. As part of the settlement, Food Lion didn't have to admit any wrongdoing. The company also promised the government it would set up training sessions for employees and supervisors, appoint a labor standards ombudsman, and give employees a mechanism for filing claims about off-the-clock work. Also, a story that touched everyone. Last week, we told you about Joey and Ken Lakeberg, the young couple waiting for a decision on the separation of their baby girls, Siamese twins. After we reported the family is facing nearly $1 million in medical bills, people across the country sent checks or offers to donate money. Sadly, doctors now say there's only a 1% chance that either of the infant girls will survive a separation operation, and they've suggested the family consider turning off the life support. Primetime continues in a moment.
Oh, that was wonderful.
I have to see it. If a movie got great reviews, you'd go see it, wouldn't you? If everyone kept talking about a book, you'd probably read it. And if Automobile Magazine called this Toyota Camry the best car built in America, you'd give it a test drive, right? The 1993 Toyota Camry. Everything you've heard is true.
This may seem like any other day, but it's not. Because now people will be able to talk to one another in a brand new way. That's because across the U.S. and Canada, leading cellular communications companies have joined together to create MobileLink, a new standard in cellular service. So now, whenever you need to stay in touch, MobileLink will make it as simple as a phone call. MobileLink.
Hello? I'm glad you called.
It's simply the way to communicate. To order, call 1-800-995-4000.
Some things you don't want to paint every year. That's why Super Paint, with a 20-year warranty, is on sale now at Sherwin-Williams Super Sale-a-thon. It ends August 28th, so hurry. Like I said, there are some things you don't want to paint every year.
Some thrive on the pressure. Others never get used to it. But if you play the game, this is the place to be. It's the U.S. Open, where for 2 weeks each year, the whole world watches every win, loss, tiebreak, and heartbreak. But if you go, get ready for excitement and pull out your Visa card, because the Open will take you to the edge of your seat, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Daddy, smell my flowers.
Oh, my sinuses. When sinus trouble strikes, reach for Nasatine. Watch as...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
Sunday. Where does it come from? All this hatred. At a special time.
You'd kill Frank? Is that what you're saying?
A network television premiere.
We're here to protect Anglo-Saxon democracy and the American way.
Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe. Mississippi Burning Sunday. Parental discretion is advised.
The primetime NFL excitement is back. Bernie Kosar and the Browns tackle Mark Rippon and the Redskins. It's an ABC NFL preseason special Monday night.
Now for a kind of saga that began last spring and continues this week when we went back to several supermarkets to see whether we were still getting ripped off by those checkout scanners. It started in April. That's when we heard a startling figure. It's estimated that scanners overcharge consumers $1 billion a year. Armed with hidden cameras, Sylvia Chase and her team decided to go shopping. The first stop, a grocery store in Houston.
She looks like all the other bargain hunters, but primetime associate producer Susan Barnett is shopping with a hidden camera. Like most other stores, Randall's puts prices only on the shelf rails, not on the groceries. This barcode isn't a price either. It only spells out in an electronic language the size and brand of coffee. At the checkout counter, the clerk didn't even need to look as the barcodes whizzed across the scanner, which electronically looks up how much to charge. But Barnett had been keeping a list, and she found the scanner had overcharged her, not once, not twice, but 6 times out of 30 items. On the chili, rice, cookies, popcorn, coffee, and pasta. She paid an extra 72 cents on a $44.59 bill. Small potatoes? That's not what Mark Green thinks. He's New York's Commissioner of Consumer Affairs.
It's easier to steal 10 cents from 1 million people than a few $1 million from one person, because you don't feel it.
During a 7-state shopping spree last month, we were overcharged a few cents at a time at store after store. We spent more than $1,800 at 39 stores, and were overcharged at more than 1/3 of them, 15 to be exact.
42, 32.
By contrast, we were undercharged at only 5. When we went to the grocery stores to find out why, we didn't get many answers.
I'm sorry.
Is there any reason why we've been overcharged 3 times in 3 trips in the last 3 days?
Do you think you have a problem with these scanners, with overcharging?
Not with overcharging. We do not have a problem with overcharging. That implies something willful. That implies that people are being cheated.
Industry spokesperson Karen Brown of the Food Marketing Institute says there is nothing to be concerned about.
The scanners are accurate. It's we humans that aren't perfect yet.
It's supposed to work this way. A computer programmer is given a price change at the main office, which is then entered into a main computer. A computer linked to all the scanners in the chain's grocery stores. Here you see the programmer putting Contadina fresh fettuccine on sale. On the screen, you see her lower the price from $1.79 to $1.69. So when items change price, the new price is reflected the next time one of those items is passed over the scanner. But with as many as 40,000 items in some supermarkets, there may be 2,000 or 3,000 price changes a week. And as we found out, aisle prices may not match the ones charged at the scanner. And when we bought items on sale, mistakes overwhelmingly favored the store, not the customer.
I've been following this for a long time now. There are far more errors made against me than for me.
New York Attorney Gene DeSantis is someone the grocery industry accuses of bias because his law firm represents a local grocery clerks union. But he has crusaded against scanner errors since he was overcharged for a can of peanuts 10 years ago, and he started checking receipts.
The closer I paid attention, the more bad things started to happen. And it finally reached a point a few years ago where I found I was being overcharged on virtually every trip to the store.
155. Stores have come a long way since the days of the manual cash register. When scanners were introduced in the mid-70s, they were touted as being faster, more accurate, and a money saver for stores and consumers alike. Even President Bush was impressed.
Pass the product across the district, just like that.
But as the technology became more commonplace, the errors have caught the attention of enforcers. In Los Angeles last summer, criminal charges were filed against Ralph's Grocery. County weights and measures inspectors found overcharges on 19% of sale items at 7 Ralph's outlets. And in New York City 2 years ago, inspectors discovered consumers were 10 times more likely to be overcharged. Here in Riverside County, California, local inspectors found persistent errors when they checked scanners for accuracy at discount stores and supermarkets. They issued repeated warnings, even criminal citations. But the errors continued, so they finally went to the district attorney. The DA's office filed suit against Kmart, Lucky's, and Vons. In settlements which ran into 6 figures, retailers agreed to stop overcharging.
Scanner accuracy, that is the matching of the shelf price with the register price in the supermarket industry, is actually at about 97% accuracy rate.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they're only overcharging you 2% of the time. A typical large supermarket today has 40,000 items. That means at any given point in time, 800 items are scanning higher than the price marked.
Which brings us back to associate producers Barnett and Sale Sutherland, who bought 30 sale items at each store they shopped, then compared the prices on the shelf with the prices at the scanner. The good news is, at 9 stores in New York City, where stores are required to put prices on individual groceries, they weren't overcharged once. And in California, where the stores have been hit with big fines, I wasn't overcharged either. But in states where oversight isn't as strict, Virginia, Texas, and Georgia, we were overcharged at one store after another. We were charged the right price on more than 96% of the items. But when the stores did make mistakes, it was in the store's favor, not the customer's, by a rate of 4 to 1. And the dollar amount was even higher, 5 to 1 in the store's favor. In Atlanta, this Winn-Dixie store overcharged us 75 cents for ham. But watch what Sutherland has to go through to get a refund.
It's supposed to be on sale for $1.48 a pound. That doesn't add up.
It's not easy to keep customers in line behind you fidgeting while you fuss. The cashier holds up the line and calls the store manager. He hands off the problem to the meat manager. Sutherland explains again.
This item was on sale for $1.48, and I didn't charge the regular price.
He rushes off, computes a new price, and Sutherland finally completes her business at the store, at least for now. It took an extra 5 minutes to collect 75 cents. Most people don't even bother. That same day over in Houston, we were telling the vice president of Appletree Stores that his chain overcharged us too. Richard Gagel.
It's our policy to do whatever it takes to satisfy our customers if an error happens.
Okay, now in this case, we did call the error to the attention of the store. What's supposed to happen then?
We'll refund the difference. We'll give you the item for free. whatever it takes to make you happy, that's what we'll do.
So the individual customer who complains gets happy. What about the next customer that comes through the aisle?
Well, the next step is that immediate corrective action is supposed to be taken to fix the error.
I was just overcharged on a couple items.
That's not what happened. Our undercover shopper complained about the overcharge, but the store didn't follow through.
See, Mr. Gagel, this popcorn...
Right now, because these are not going to last through the day, only 15,000 in existence. It comes with a certificate of authenticity.